I always believed marriage was a sacred commitment. Something built on love, respect, and genuine care for one another. That was the foundation I had in mind when I married Lisa 6 years ago. I entered the relationship wholeheartedly, dedicating myself to making sure we had a stable life. I worked tirelessly to pay the bills and prioritized her needs above my own. But as time went on, I began to notice subtle changes between us. Signs I initially chose to ignore. It started with the little things. Lisa no longer kissed me goodbye in the mornings. A simple gesture that once made me feel close to her. Our date nights, which used to be something we cherished deeply, gradually disappeared, replaced by repetitive daily routines. Bit by bit, I began to sense that we were merely cohabiting, not nurturing the loving partnership I thought we had. I figured she might be overwhelmed by work stress or personal issues she wasn't ready to share. To support her, I gave her the space she seemed to want, hoping that eventually she would open up. Whenever I gently asked how she was feeling, she'd brush me off with a quick, "I'm fine," her eyes never leaving her phone. But deep down, I knew that neither she nor our marriage was truly okay. One evening, after finishing the dishes, I felt compelled to confront the widening gap between us. I approached Lisa, who was sitting on the couch absorbed in her phone. "Lisa, we need to talk," I said, my voice steady but filled with concern. She barely looked at me and replied with vague disinterest. "About what?" I took a deep breath, preparing myself for a difficult conversation. "It's about us. You've grown distant. You don't communicate with me like you used to. You don't look at me the same way. And it's been months since we shared any intimacy." Her reaction was immediate, a heavy sigh, as if she was already exhausted by the conversation before it even began. "I don't see why that's such a big deal," she said flatly. Frustration and sadness surged through me at her indifference. "Lisa, we're married. We're supposed to be connected emotionally and physically," I insisted, trying to help her understand how important our bond was. She set her phone down and crossed her arms defensively. "I don't have to be intimate with you just because we're married," she snapped sharply. Her words felt like a slap. "That's not what I'm saying," I responded, my voice firm but calm. "Intimacy is part of marriage. It's about love, about closeness, not entitlement." The conversation quickly turned hostile. She scoffed. "So you think just because we signed some papers, I owe you my body?" Her dismissal of something so vital to our relationship tightened my jaw. "That's not what I believe at all. But marriage means more than living under the same roof. It means a connection, and you've shut me out," I said, trying to find a way to break through her walls. Rolling her eyes, she shot back. "Well, if that's what you want from me, maybe I'm not the wife you think I am." In that moment, a heavy truth settled inside me. I was the only one still invested in this marriage. After years of pouring my heart into being the best husband I could be, she was giving so little in return. I sat in silence, feeling something inside me shift. "All right," I said quietly, standing up. She looked at me, confusion on her face. "What?" she asked, narrowing her eyes. I grabbed my jacket from the chair, my mind suddenly clear. "I hear you loud and clear," I said. "Where are you going?" she demanded, her frown deepening. I met her gaze, really seeing the woman I once loved so deeply. But now, all I saw was someone who no longer loved me. "I'm leaving," I said simply. Her eyes widened in shock. "You're overreacting," she insisted, but I shook my head firmly. "No, I've just finally had enough." Her scoff held a trace of understanding. She'd assumed I'd always be there no matter how she treated me. But I had finally recognized my worth. I wasn't willing to settle for less than I deserved. That night, I walked out, leaving behind the life we'd built together without looking back. I checked into a hotel, seeking the distance I needed to think clearly. I thought maybe she would call, apologize, or beg for another chance. Instead, a week later, I received a text. "Are you really leaving over this? Grow up." That message confirmed everything I needed to know. The next day, I filed for divorce. At first, Lisa didn't take me seriously. She thought I would return like I always had. But when the papers arrived, reality hit her hard. She called, crying, begging for a second chance, promising to change. But by then it was too late. Love isn't just words or promises. It's shown through actions, and her actions had already made it clear where I stood in her life. Looking back, I realized that leaving was the best choice I ever made. True marriage isn't about obligation or settling for complacency. It requires mutual effort, love, and respect. I finally understood my own value and the importance of being in a relationship where both partners give their all. From that day on, I vowed never to accept anything less.